Alright, this is Weapon X Reacts and we're back with another video, and this is gonna be a review of Mickey 17, which is a sci-fi comedy film directed by Bong Joon-ho, who did movies like Snowpiercer, Parasite, Memories of Murder, and many more, which I think are all masterpieces. And one thing I like about him as a director is that he is pretty good at making films that have some kind of social commentary in them. Like, for example, Parasite being about the divide between the rich and the poor. And the film does it in a way that is thought-provoking and pretty relevant to the world we live in today. And here in Mickey 17, it tries to be a deep film about the meaning of death, and yeah, it's a good concept, but it completely loses the mark for me. And if I could describe this movie in one word, it would be soulless. And it's a pretty weird movie overall. I'm gonna break down the plot of this film. So, a disposable employee named Mickey Barnes is sent on a human expedition to colonize the ice world Niflheim. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated, with most of his memories intact. I will admit that the first hour of the film is pretty good, but when you get to the second half, it completely falls apart and doesn't even know what it wants to be anymore. When it gets to the story of the Creepers, and I thought that storyline felt rushed. And I just want to say that this film has a runtime of 2 hours and 17 minutes. And I want to say that I have no issues with movies that are 2 hours or 3 hours long, but make the film earn its runtime. It's just that simple. Robert Pattinson's performance as Mickey Barnes was probably the best thing about this movie, and it just shows you that he is pretty good at playing multiple roles. And it's amazing how this guy went from being overshadowed by the Twilight movies to being an actor that does a great job in the roles he is in. Like, for example, Thomas Howard in The Lighthouse, Cody Nikas in Good Time, and Bruce Wayne in The Batman. And here in this movie, he has a Southern American accent, and it does get weird at times, but still pretty well acted. Also, my main criticism with his character is that this movie's script doesn't give him anything else to work with, and it's a perfect example of a great performance wasted by bad writing. And it's the same thing with Toni Collette, who was ridiculously over the top in this movie, and it doesn't help it in any way. Also, I thought her character was extremely annoying, as she is a woman who is obsessed with cutting the tails of the creepers and then making them into a sauce. And I think Toni Collette's best performance will always be as Annie Graham in Hereditary, directed by Ari Aster, which I think is a great and terrifying film that I totally recommend you check out. I'm gonna go on a rant for a bit, so get ready for that. Mark Ruffalo's character in this movie was completely insufferable, and there were some moments of where Mark Ruffalo was just overacting, and it is so cringy to watch. And to me, I just felt like this is a character that was so poorly written that it just came off as dull and pretty shallow. And I even heard that his character is supposed to be a parody of Donald Trump. And From what I saw in this film, I can actually see why. And if the writers really thought that this is what a corrupt dictator is supposed to look like, then they're basically just terrible at writing stories and should be fired from the business. And it just shows you how much of a joke Hollywood has become nowadays, because this right here is a perfect example of how to fail at satire. And this is where I get to the biggest problem in this movie as a whole, is that I thought that its politics was just used as a vehicle to attack the right. And this thing right here is a good representation of what the woke left think of when it comes to Trump. And I actually think that Mark Ruffalo is a shit actor. And I will say that there are 3 films where he is actually pretty good. It is in Spotlight, Foxcatcher, Zodiac. Also, I think his political opinions are just stupid. And he is a perfect example of why Hollywood actors should just stay out of politics. Because they should only stick to what they're good at, which is acting in movies. That's it. I'm going to explain the ending of this film. So, after Mickey 18 killed Kenneth Marshall, who was played by Mark Ruffalo, by sacrificing himself, we then see Mickey Barnes' girlfriend being promoted to a powerful political position on Niflheim, which is a big opportunity for her to end the expendable program. And then Mickey gets given the chance to blow up the printer, with it becoming illegal on the planet as it is on Earth. And now, Mickey 17 is left as the last remaining one. Also, we see him have another conversation with the Creepers, and now we know that they didn't kill all of humanity, and this was what they needed to save their species. And we then see Mickey have a dream sequence of where Yifa tries to bring Kenneth Marshall back to life, which is a strong showcase of his fear of what's to come, of when there might be someone just like him that may rise to power. And then the dream sequence ends with him blowing the printer up. And I thought the ending was pretty thought-provoking and hopeful. But the problem I have was that it felt like wasted potential for a film that already is one. I just want to say that this film bombed at the box office, and this is how much money it made. $44.5 million. And guess what? It had a $118 million budget. And while it wasn't as bad as when you look at how poorly Captain America Brave New World did, but still, it shows you just how much of a mess this film is. And one thing I will say is that at least this film felt original, which is something that Hollywood just does not do anymore, as they care more about destroying everything that came before with empty and hollow remakes. And I thought the jokes in this movie didn't land, as they were just bland and unoriginal. And there are subplots in this film that are just all over the place and don't go anywhere. And it becomes more of a distraction, which I think was only put there to pad the runtime, rather to get you interested in what you're watching. One of the best things about this movie was the visuals, along with its CGI, which I thought were pretty well done, and It really pulls you into the world that this film has. I'm gonna show you the trailers of this film, starting with the first one. And when I watched this film in the cinema, it was so weird and had a strange storyline. And it got to the point of becoming pretentious. And I just want to say that it was smart at the beginning, but as it went on, it became stupid sci-fi bullshit. And now, I will show you the trailers of this film.
Are you experiencing any vertigo? I guess I am feeling a little dizzy.
Oh, wow! Did you see that?
I wouldn't be surprised if you were thinking at this point, what have I done?
How lucky can one guy be?
Nothing was working out, and I wanted to get off of Earth.
You're planning to be an expendable?
Yeah,
You read through the whole application.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
I should have read through it.
Once you die, we'll print a new version of your body.
My head keeps
They made me work my ass off on one mission after another.
Every time you die, we learn something new, and humanity moves forward.
Oh, man, he's right. It's fine.
my life is gonna be
Vicky, it's not looking very good for you. Yeah, no. I'm sure you're used to it by now. What's it feel like to die? Even on my 17th go-round, I hate dying.
The story was boring, but the concept was interesting.
Why not?
It's wasted potential, bro!
In the case of multiples,
it's just like
we exterminate every individual.
Let's blow up these second-hand baloney.
Dude, this is my problem with trailers like this, is that they make you think that this movie is gonna be good. But when you watch it, it ends up becoming terrible. It's bait and switch, man.
I don't like you, but I'm you. I'm not you. I'm gonna kill you.
This movie was so wild, man. It's crazy, bro.
On Earth, nothing was working out, and I wanted to get the hell out of there.
You're planning to be an expendable? You read through the paperwork.
Yeah. I should have read through it.
Oh, man.
Deep breaths, fill your lungs. Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air and you're sucking in every single microscopic particle floating around. All the viruses.
That's a pretty good shot, I will admit.
There really was an unknown virus in the air. Lethal one.
See you tomorrow. Fellow pioneers, almost every single one of you will be remembered throughout history.
They made me work my ass off, giving me one shitty mission after another.
You're expendable. You're here to be expended.
Every time I died, they just printed me out again. Everyone asks, what's it feel like to die? The ship was filled with mostly dickheads. Nasha, she's always loved me. That's when everything changed. Multiple.
In the case of multiples, we exterminate every individual, which by
You're just a person.
It's not your fault. This is a fight to the death.
The simple fact is, we're in a state of war. Our survival is in the balance.
I got a job to do.
Mickey Bonds, fighting right to the end.
My great gift to mankind. That you were afraid to die. This time I wasn't scared.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you the list of films I'm gonna be reviewing. So first up, it's gonna be Come and See, The Electric State, and Disney's Snow White live action remake, which nobody asked for! You know what? I hope Snow White bombs at the box office because it just shows you how lazy and dull Hollywood has become. Disney deserves to fail. That's it. If you really think that people are gonna be wasting their time on the Snow White remake, you are damn wrong. Because that thing is everything with Hollywood and Disney as a whole. And if you heard about the beef between Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, it's just crazy. And it just shows you what this film is gonna be when it comes out. I really thought that this movie could have been so much better. Like, shit. You got two of the best people, like Bong Joon-ho and Robert Pattinson, working in the industry right now, and they are completely wasted. This is a perfect example of everything wrong with modern movies today, is that they think that they can bring out some of the best actors of all time will make money. No, not anymore. Because it's gonna take a lot more than that to get people to be interested in this stuff. And plus, nobody watches movies for the actors anymore. Also, I thought the character of Nasha, and while Naomi Acko does an okay job, I thought she was extremely shallow. And the chemistry between her and Mickey was so poorly executed. And we don't even see how they grow in their relationship, as it isn't even explored. Steven Yeun plays Timu, who is a con man, but is also a friend of Mickey 17. And if you look at the book, he is a pilot who had a career at playing Pogball. So, Warner Brothers completely changed his character just for the sake of it. And you know what I thought about him? I thought his character was pretty forgettable. And it feels like they wasted him for a bit, as he didn't even get any development in this film. Overall, this movie was a complete and total disaster. And it's a film that is a good representation of when a great concept isn't enough. And the fact that it flopped shows the death of cinema as a whole. And this movie was a big letdown from Bong Joon-ho. And he did direct some great movies in the past. And this movie right here has to be his worst one. And it does have some similarities to Snowpiercer, but it didn't work out. Everything about this movie felt wasted. From the acting, the concept, everything. It was just a massive waste of potential. And Hollywood will continue on failing no matter what. And they can blame us for their woke failures no matter what. But we don't give a shit. How about give us something that's actually worth it again? And then we'll see. And I even heard that this movie is expected to cause a $100 million loss for Warner Brothers, which is just pathetic. And the movies that have come out of Warner Brothers recently all bombed massively at the box office. And it looks like to me they can't escape from this. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now, and always remember, strike back like a weapon against wokeness.